Hello, everyone, and thank you for attending this meeting on such short notice. My HR team and I have prepared a slideshow for you guys regarding some new announcements that we have and also some information you'll need to take with you after this meeting. So as you all are aware, here at FindVestor, it is our mission to provide the best financial and professional advice there is to anyone in need. So this past year, we've had an exponential growth within the US, and it has given us an opportunity to expand globally. So our first expansion is going to be a big one, and we are going to be merging our company with the Swedish market. So for the overview today, we're going to be covering Sweden's external environment, why we chose Sweden, what benefit it's going to bring us as a company, and then secondly, the macro environment of Sweden. We're going to be going over the pastel analysis that we put together for you guys, the Hofstede's cultural dimension of Sweden, cultural differences between Sweden and the US. We also put together some recommendations for you to relay to your teams because obviously, as you know, we're bringing two cultures together, and we think that has a lot of benefit because we all have our unique talents, where we come from and all that. So I think it's going to be good to merge those two together, but we also can run into some barriers. So while making this transition, we just want to make it as smooth as possible for you and your teams, just so we can be as successful as possible. And yeah, I want to hand it over to Emily.
Thank you so much, Emilio. Moving on, I'm going to be talking about Sweden's external environment. I just want to give you guys a little bit more of an understanding about Sweden and their environment. First graph we're going to look over on the top left is the population. They're at 10,486,941 people. Obviously, they're not going to have as big of a population like America or in bigger places because they are a smaller country. But as you can see by the graph, it is constantly rising. And so they will, in the future, they will catch up to us. For the GDP per capita, it is very close, just a little bit under the US. They're at $55,873.2. And then over down below, the unemployment total, which is the percent of the total labor force, they are higher, on the higher side at a 7.4%. And then foreign direct investment is higher, and that's 8.4%. So that gives you a little bit more background about their external environment. I do just want to give a couple fun facts that I think that you will help you understand more of why we chose Sweden. So around 86% of their population speaks or knows English. So communication is not a barrier that we will have to face. It's also the world's 11th largest economy by being the most innovative, competitive, and transparent in the world. And being the 11th largest economy in the world out of all of them, especially with a smaller country and less of a population, is a big deal. Moving on, I'm going to be going over the pest or pestle analysis. I'm not going to be talking about every single one of them, but feel free to just take more of a look at each section. I will be sharing this PowerPoint with you guys personally, so you can go back and take a look after. But some things I do want to point out that I think really shows why we chose Sweden is looking first at their political side. They have a stable political environment, constitutional monarchy, and their well-established democracy, which is basically the US. And they're known for its neutral foreign policy and active participation in international organizations. So Sweden already just, has that international like aspect, like just they have the knowledge on how to work with other countries. And I feel that we, America and Sweden, are going to be able to work very well as we will learn a lot from them and they will learn a lot from us. Moving on to the economic side, Sweden boasts a strong and diversified economy. They are trying to be very inclusive with everyone, being very diverse. And I feel that America is very much leaning towards that. I think that's what our future has in store as we are also working on it right now. They have high levels of innovation and technological advancement, which also goes along with the technological side, where they are at the forefront of their technological innovation, especially in sectors like telecommunications, clean energy, and automation. I think that we will work very well with Sweden based off of just how much knowledge they have with technology and just something that we can learn and implement to our business here at Finevestor. Um, Something that I do want to point out that is something that we should be paying attention to is that Sweden does adhere to the EU regulations while maintaining its own legal framework. So this may impact trade agreements and policies, but this is something that we are all going to really look into, understand, and I think over time working with them and gaining that insight, we won't have any more barriers to overcome. Lastly, for me, I'm going to be talking about Hofstede's cultural dimensions. Um, like before, I won't be going over each and every one of them. Feel free to take a look and just really read them because this information will help you manage your teams better and overall help our company succeed as a whole. So, one being the lowest and 100 being the highest, power distance is at a 31. So, that's pretty low, meaning that Sweden's power is decentralized. Managers utilize their teams, they allow their teams to work together, be innovative, and basically feel as if they're super important to their company and that they aren't super low or super high. They're just important. And I feel like that's very much what America also does, the US. I feel that we are all about innovation and moving on to individualism. We um, we want everyone to take care of themselves and help themselves while also being able to work with your fellow peers. So Sweden has expectations that individuals take care of themselves and their immediate families. This is just like the US. Um, and employer employee is a contract based on mutual advantage. So, they're both advancing, they're both gaining something from the experience. And I feel that's very much what the US does as well. Something I do want to point out, though, that Ethan will get more into is the masculinity. It is at a 5, and this is for Sweden. So this just shows us that Sweden is a very feminine society. And I think that this is something that could be maybe an issue if we don't educate ourselves enough on how their society works in that aspect compared to ours. So that's all I have. I'm going to be moving it on to Ethan.
So here we just have a graph comparing those numbers that we just talked about between the United States and Sweden. And the one that I want to bring the most attention to is what Emily had mentioned, that big difference between the masculinity aspect. We are obviously a much higher number than they are. And that's going to be something that in the future we're going to have to work delicately in implementing it into working. Then here's just some more in-depth of cultural dimension comparison between us and them. I will let you guys go back and be able to read more of it yourself later, but I wanted to just really talk really briefly about what we share with them, and that's a lot of personal freedom and self-expression. So it'll be very easy to to communicate with them. We're comfortable with risk and change. We're focused on immediate results and accomplishments. So it'll be very nice that we can focus and then agree on stages like that. So for the recommendations, we as a team have decided that the best leadership style is going to be an inclusive leadership style, and that's going to be prioritizing creating a diverse and inclusive workplace that values contributions from employees with various backgrounds and perspectives. It's going to want to encourage open communication and active listening. A lot of that is going to be enforced from these three so we want to foster cross-functional and cross-cultural collaboration, encouraging teams from both the United States and Sweden to work together, leveraging their unique strengths. We want to address conflicts or misunderstandings promptly and constructively, encourage open dialogue and mediation to reach mutually beneficial solutions. We want to recognize and respect the cultural nuances between the United States and Sweden, embrace the Swedish value of consensus building and participatory decision making. Inclusive leadership not only helps bridge the culture gap between the United States, but also promotes a collaborative and harmonious work environment. By valuing diverse perspectives, encouraging participation, and fostering a sense of belonging, this leadership style can contribute to a successful and smooth expansion process into Sweden.
Thank you so much for joining us today. Like we said in the very beginning, without you guys, we would not be here where we are today. If you do have any questions, our email is findvestorinternational@gmail.com. Our website is findvestor.com, and our phone number is 678-999-8212. We also have a Facebook, Twitter, and LinkedIn, and it's all going to be under Findvestor. But thank you so much. We're so excited to move forward in the future and see what it has in store for us. So thank you. Bye.